how would you define or rate like where you are on the parenting scale, and to what extent has parenting affected your life as an entrepreneur?
Parenting scale, I never thought about it. Now, is this me individually or both of us? Because there could be a difference.
You can answer individually.
Okay.
I kind of want to ask you at the same time.
So shoot, like rock, paper, scissors, say shoot?
Yeah, because see, I don't want his answer to affect yours.
And that is what will happen, which is pissing me. I'm actually going to let him go first because he would change his number based off of what I say.
So I'm going to add, let's
You let him go first, yeah, because I ain't going to change mine.
I think I would say a 10. I would say a 10. And now we'll see how Alani turns out in a couple years, maybe 8 to 10 years from now, how well we're really doing, which is also something I just think about all the time. So I tweeted this. So I was like, how do you know that you're doing a good job as a parent and you think you're doing everything right? And it could be one turn in their life and everything changes for them. So I would say right now we're like an 8 to 10 range, I would say.
Yeah, I was going for an 8, 9. Yeah, I was going for that.
Boom. I was saying that.
Based
I was
me,
saying that. So I think we're doing an excellent job as parents. Now we are more privileged than a lot of people we know, a lot of friends, a lot of family. Our parents, Alani's right here with the nanny next door. So we are very privileged. Even when Alani was born, I thank her aunt to this day. Her aunt came down for 3 months and stayed with us out the hospital. Her aunt was here for 3 months. Jhenilka jokes about she ain't wash a bottle or make food for 3 months for Alani and or change a diaper. Like we were very privileged and we had a doula to help us even before we had Alani.
And a birth doula, a birth doula after. So yeah, we put a lot of support in place to make sure that we were able to show up as our best self. And it's funny because I speak to some friends and they're like, if they do it again, what would they would do differently? And they're like, get help earlier. But a lot of times women or just people in general, they're like, well, I just wanted to try it by myself first. I am not one that likes struggle. So I'm like, I don't need to try it. I mean, I feel like everybody in the world has told me what it is. So if there's 3 days that a night doula could be here that I could sleep and I just got to pump and go back to sleep, I'll take it. You know what I mean? So us putting support in place has made a huge difference for us in how it has been as parents. I'll make that very clear because we are down here in Dallas by ourselves, like no family, no grandparents or anything unless they're visiting and stuff like that. So it was very important for us to have things in place to be the best parents we can be.
Yeah, I think that's why we are so focused on telling stories and hearing other people's stories, because for folks in our generation, when you're trying to build something or do something new for your family, even, your family that you came from and the family that you create, like you kind of need these stories because they buck against that age old wisdom that we've been just kind of like running through. It's like, nah, actually you don't have to do that. Or you can ask for more, or you can try something new. So,
But there was a moment in our book tour when we came to Dallas. I think it was like the 4th stop. I can't remember. It seems like it was a while.
It was the last stop.
The last stop. Okay. We were in Dallas and Anthony walked into the room with the baby. And I don't know why, but I think I just happened to have Kirsten's mom. I guess she was like in my point of view. And she was like dead set looking at Anthony. And I was just like, all right. I think she was just thinking like,
where's the mom?
Who is this? One, I think she was like, where's the mom? But like, what's the connection? Because she was just like in another world. But then later on, when we were kind of debriefing with her, this is just what she does. And she asked the question, like, who is that guy with the baby? Because again, she's an older woman. She's not accustomed to seeing like dad. We had a very similar reaction with me in terms of how active and involved I was with our son. And so I was wondering, like, do you guys kind of get those kinds of reactions a lot? And if so, like, what do you do with that? Like, how do you feel about the way that people react to the role that you play as a father?
I feel like we do get that reaction. Like, just for example, if we say at night, right? If she gets up, not now, but if she gets up in the middle of the night, we do every other night. Like one night I'm getting up, other night you're getting up because I have bottles. You don't need to wake me up, right? And so I have some people that they're like, I mean, married couples, they're like, oh no, it's only me. Like the mother is, I'm the only one getting up. And I'm like, but why? Like, well, is he not there? Like, you know, is he an able being? Like, he could help too. I mean, you know, so little things like that. I'm like, at one point, Tony was changing more diapers than I was changing because his thing was, you know, you always have to breastfeed her. So I can't help with that in no capacity, but I can change a diaper. Like I can help in that realm. Things that you know, like, yeah,
got pretty good at it.
Yeah, so you know that. I think for us, it's just like, that's how we will work. That's how we work together as a couple. Like I didn't make this baby on my own. There's both of our child here. So that's how we just we discussed it. And we're like, yeah, well, he is doing that. Maybe ask your husband to do this. Maybe, you know, maybe you just never said it. And so they're just like, well, the mom got it under control. Cause that happens too. Like, we're just like, all right, I got it. Right. And so the dad is just like, all right, she handling it. So I'll hop in when I need to. So
yeah, that was something that our doula told us too, because I was feeling so helpless during the child, not the process, but in general, I was like, how do I help once we're through this? And she was like, do everything that, if there's something that you could do that she could do as well, you do that task. There's gonna be things that you can't even help with, you can't understand, and you don't even know why. She's like, do everything else. I was like, okay, well, washing the bottles, doing changing the diapers, you know, making dinner, like that type of stuff is something that I said, all right, I can take that off her plate. And even another thing is like, even when we're traveling together, it's not just about, you know, me being a dad. We'll be traveling with Alani and people are like, oh, I never travel with my kid. It's like, oh, I would never bring my kid on the flight. And it's like, why not? It's like, have you ever thought about it? Have you ever tried? We get this a lot. Like Alani's been on, I don't know how many 20 something flights now. And every single time, like, oh my God, this is her first flight. You know, oh, I can never bring my kids. Like, why wouldn't you want your kids to experience, even though she's still young, but why wouldn't you want your kids to experience what you're experiencing in life?
We hope you enjoyed this episode of Cashing Out, the podcast. To see more videos like this, please subscribe to our YouTube channel and be sure to turn on your notifications. To get your copy of Cashing Out the book, visit Amazon.com, Barnes & Noble, your local bookstore, or download the audiobook on Audible.